Okay, so I'm just pre-recording a bit of a voiceover about my, hopefully by now, second Quake map, because I want to show something in the sort of early to mid stages of the map. My first map, Crown of Thorns, I'm happy with it, but there were a few noticeable issues. The layout was kind of quite bland and 2D. There was a lot of terrain rock work in it, which I started with. It caused me no end of problems. When I got sort of inside the castle, I didn't really know what to do with it, so I didn't really have kind of particular plans. That kind of worked out a bit bland. And there was a sort of general lack of, I think the structures are pretty cool, and the kind of design architecture is pretty cool, but there was a lack of detail in there. So for this map, I decided to do the polar opposite, but this is actually based on another like 20-year-old idea I had sketched out a sort of layout, and I had a very clear theme, texture and kind of design theme to this that occurred to me 20 years ago. The map is going to be called Only a Dream, and it actually came to me in a dream. It literally dreamt this map up and the style of it, and then I kind of sketched it out, and here it is. So there's a few things already. Firstly, I've got the layout pretty much nailed already, so I don't have to kind of tack things on and add things on the inside or what have you. Secondly, as you can see, it's quite a kind of clear cut kind of man-made box effectively. There's a few bits of rock work, but it's not based around terrain, so I could start out quite easily getting pretty simple designs in without kind of screwing up the mapping too much and having all these kind of horribly made and horribly complicated rocks. Thirdly, I've got the layout sorted and the player's progression sorted, so I'm just going to run through that here in the editor. Approximate start around here. First room, go up, try not to wiggle around too much, press a button. This will open a door here into the second room. Second room, two buttons to press either side, so the player's going to make his way around here. This will open this door, which will reveal sort of blocked off kind of castle entrance, a key to collect, a lift in a room here where there'll be some more details, more combat. Get the gold key, come out, gold key switch. This will open up this tower here, little spiral stair inside the tower, out onto this upper ledge. I've made it a lot more 3D. Everything's got 2 or 3 levels inside and multiple kind of heights, which I wasn't really doing in Crown of Thorns. Go along this bridge up here. There'll be some kind of room here. Through here, this will not be available to get. This will be blocked off here. Down another spiral stair. This will be a sealed door for now. Further down, whoops, outside the map. Further down to a lower level here, or kind of everything's kind of perched above the void here, so hopefully be quite atmospheric. Up on this lift, this will a button to open this door and that door. Silver key thing here that will require a silver key. It'll open here, little stair, silver key, back through this way, back to the silver key switch, and this will open some kind of exit in this tower here. I'm not quite worked out how to do that, but I've got a progression nailed down, and it kind of goes all over, up and down, lots of 3D stuff, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And I've also, in terms of, so that's 3 of the 4 problems kind of working on. I've also, this was the first thing I did, was make this area here and make a shitload of prefabs. Prefab pillars, prefab curves with hieroglyphics in. This is this stuff with the kind of curved edges and the hieroglyphics. This is what I dreamt. This is the style I dreamt. Some step edges, some inset step edges, different, all these curves here that I can just copy and paste and use elsewhere. Arches, inset details here for the walls, pillars, supports. Inset kind of window details. Some of these are a bit balked when I move the map around. Little kind of window things. Some pillars. I'm really happy. These pillars look really nice in game. So this is all ready to kind of just bang into the map and like add some, light fittings, add some windows. I can break up the kind of height of this as well. So there'll be hopefully a very clear kind of a continuity theme to the details. There's lots of details to put in there an expanded one. So this is it, and I am hopefully going to continue and get this done at some point. But this is just to show taking a very different tack with the style of the map, and also the kind of, although I made prefabs and a rough layout last time, I've kind of learned a lot about that, and hopefully have a smoother mapping process. Okay, cheers. Okay, so onto the map proper. This is Quake, the old school first person shooter again, and this is my second map for it, Warmth of a Dying Sun. This has 200 monsters and 12 secrets, which is quite a lot. I will do a run through of the secrets after this and put a time link in video. So yeah, my second map, straight into some zombies here. So let's just deal with these guys. So I made this area a little bit thought-provoking to start. You have zombies, for which you need the grenade launcher, but the grenade launcher spawns an ambush by scrags, who are a bit trickier to grenade. Let's get those guys out of the way. So you start in this kind of sewer area here. This was originally going to be connected to a wide open area with like a beach and rocks and quite a complicated starting area. I decided that was going to be quite difficult to construct effectively after my difficulty using terrain in my first map, and as I made this map I realised it would have distracted from the focus of this map, so I'm quite happy to cut all of that out. But I tried to make this sewer area kind of vaguely interesting and have this kind of waterfall theme which I'd kind of reuse in a few places for details. Try to make it feel a bit exploratory as you progress into the main map. And this is the main map, so you're sort of perched above the void here. This was for the atmosphere I intended. The void can be quite a threat to players. It often means certain death. For me, I prefer not to have that threat and that penalty, so I made it just slightly damaging, and it would teleport the player back up to a safer level. It did fine with a few people. They'd fall off this edge easy to start, and that kind of, it teaches them that it's not going to be fatal and they don't need to panic too much. So the first area, kind of this Egyptian temple style, and some monsters ambushing already. I tried to have it so the monsters would be a bit of a warning but not too dangerous, kind of warm the player into things. But I managed to lose quite a bit of health there. The kind of setup here was that if you kind of play methodically it'll be okay. If you run around like a lunatic and trigger every monster off, you'll probably be in a lot of trouble. Sort of the ambushes happen kind of consecutively rather than simultaneously. So this is the style that I really intended. As I say in my introduction, this map came to me in a dream 20 years ago. These kind of like square but rounded off temple-like buildings perched above a sort of dark void. In particular, this sort of style here with the inset trim and a kind of rectangular rounded off building. This was very clear in my dream, kind of walking around a corner and looking at this. So I've managed to kind of capture it fairly accurately. The textures all come from the second mission pack, Disillusion of Eternity. I've always liked the temple style, and was really kind of excited to use them. Whoa. Possibly needed more coffee this morning as I'm not playing very well. This area I could have started detailing this early on, and this is probably my favourite bit in the whole map, is this kind of hanging pillar on the corner here. I made that, I was very excited, and I thought, well, I better try and make the rest of the map kind of live up to that. So eagle-eyed viewers will notice that this map is sort of very kind of square cut and very boxy. It is a tradition in Quake mapping for people's early maps to be quite boxy and blocky and maybe not architecturally interesting, and then as people progress with angles are one of the key things to introduce. you know, angled buttresses, angled arches, stuff like that generally makes things aesthetically interesting. I've always thought that it'd be very interesting to see what can be done without any angles at all. And obviously this is a bit of a cheat because there's a lot of curved and rounded off stuff here, but all the basic structures are square cut, rectangular or square. There's no kind of angles, no angled roofs, no angled arches. I say obviously the oh, there's some zombies, better get rid of them. Obviously the curved nature of it all is quite a big deal and kind of compensates for any kind of boringness with the square cut designs, I hope anyway. I'm pretty pleased with that style. These zombies down here do not have much effect on the player. They're more just for like kind of atmosphere and some fun kind of exploding them. These scrags under here do have a bit more effect because a lot of people wonder where on earth they are. And I put them underneath the bridge, which a lot of people don't expect them to come from below, so I was kind of pleased with that. The gameplay in this map is a bit mixed. Some of it I feel was not particularly effective, and other sections I think work okay. One unusual aspect is I give the player weapons in a different order to normal. Normally you get kind of very conventional double barrel shotgun, nail gun, super nail gun or grenade launcher. This time I've given the grenade launcher early, nail guns early, and then it's up to the player to kind of try and use them most effectively, manage their ammo. Oh, I've already opened that. Cool. This situation, for example, pretty easy for the grenade launcher. So I did include like a castle front in this, but it's kind of outside and you don't really get to see much of it. There's a shambler. He's pointing away for a reason. It's just to kind of surprise players if they back out of here too far. I did see a few people do that and they didn't take too much damage, but it seemed to be a bit of a shock, a bit of a fright. So I'm quite keen to do that. Not all monsters are designed to be super effective. Some of them are just designed for effect or for fun. These guys up here are a little bit annoying. I wasn't so pleased with the usage of these, a bit hard to kind of snipe. One thing I did like is I was really happy with the skybox and the fog I chose in this map, and the fog shading on here, which is kind of lighting effect in modern Quake that rounds off corners. All of these were really useful for the kind of style of the map I wanted, and I was really pleased with some of the effects. I was quite pleased with this vor up here. A lot of people seem to deal with her quite well. Oops. As I said in the introduction, I tried to get a much more involved, convoluted 3D layout on this. Excuse me, I just got to deal with these guys. Again, monsters put in to have a minor ambush. I didn't want them facing directly towards the player and taking off a lot of health, just to kind of... It's up to the player to kind of think about how they're going to deal with that, back off or take all the damage. Although... Let me get the right weapon here. Quite a few people... ran into those fiends, so as I see, some of the monster usage I had I thought was pretty effective. And this guy, what's he doing? He's just looking out there into space. Or is he? We'll find out. Gives you a hint of what's to come, and you pay attention and get the drop on those guys. Again, just to kind of reward players who are thinking a bit. So yeah, I tried to get really much more interconnected 3D layout on this, and I think that worked. A couple of people commented later on that how everything kind of connected together, and That was good, kind of learning from my previous map. So as I say, given the double barrel shotgun relatively late in the game, but now I've put in a load of monsters that can be dealt with grenades or shells really effectively. So you can really stock up on nails on this bit and go back to using other weapons. I was quite pleased with this ambush here. Not super dangerous, but just a nice position for that ball. This kind of section here, it'd be lower down, wouldn't it? Whoa! Forgot about those guys. Yeah, this section kind of going down into the basement here with the stairs. That was again kind of clear in my dream. I've tried to reuse certain themes here, like in the dingier bits you kind of get the glowing moss, and you'll see in a moment the waterfall gets reused. Oops. This is my kind of supposed to be the final area, as you'll see. Quite pleased with the weird effect of this building kind of perched in the void. You've got the waterfall. I just had this kind of section of design here, and I thought put something in there, just minor details to kind of enhance the overall effect. So, whoa, get out of my way. Oh, will you die already? So yeah, as I said in the introduction, I kind of created a lot of details, as you can see, like the wall lights, the windows, these kind of little perch buildings up here. So I was able to kind of have this kind of sort of rectangular kind of design, quite simple rooms initially, put in the curves, put in the details, and then kind of spice them up with more like prefab details. So, whoa, what's going on? Who knows, who knows. But because it's my map, behind ammo, oh, there might be spawns. People seem to like those. And there's an altar with nothing on it up here, so okay. Again, just for fun. So what do? Need a silver key. That opens a door back to here, and a door for a shambler. Let's get rid of him. Out the way. Excuse me. A little preview of maybe something's going on here. So again, it's one of my maps as well as spawns behind ammo. There's probably going to be a silver key and possibly a silver key trap. And a silver key trap. If you run the wrong way down here, you might end up with a spawn in your face. Yeah, not super hectic combat, but just trying to put players, make them a bit nervous. Things exploding. Try to do a big restock in this area for like the kind of what will hopefully be the final battles. So some monster placements, I think I got pretty good. This fiend catches a lot of people out. It's kind of fun to watch. Oh my god, it's catching me out. I think I'd know this map by now. Right, there we go. And this guy down here. And try to give players good reason to use the rocket launcher. Well, that does mean that a lot of players ended up walking straight through this room with the rocket launcher and getting a fiend in their face, which I'm kind of doing a good job of as well. So now we have silver key, and something's happening. Something might be shamblers. So this combat's a bit awkward. If you don't have any nails left, it's quite an awkward snipe for these guys. But what I did make it is, I didn't block off this area. The area is still open to exit, but there can be trouble if you do so, if you're careless. So it's an arena you can escape, but escaping requires some caution or quick fighting. Thank you. Yeah, so I was quite pleased. This initial exit area was kind of, I quite liked the building, but the whole exit was kind of just a boring room, and then I worked out a way to kind of make an interesting mechanism to finish, and the dying sun itself, the kind of a messed up conglomeration of lots of torch flames, which turned a boring box room into something a bit more dramatic. So there you go. So I'm going to pause here, I'm going to go back to the start, and I'll run through the secrets, and there may be other monsters to finish off, we shall see. So I'm back right at the start. Yeah, 12 secrets. 12 secrets is quite a lot. I may have got a bit carried away, having a lot of fun placing them. The kind of square, kind of walled in nature of the map made it quite easy to put in a lot of extra secrets, so people seem to find them quite tricky, but here we go. Bars here, it's a bit of random flesh, and it's lit up by a little orange red light there. Number one. Now I've tried to put some nice cliche secrets in this map because I have quite a lot of fun with that, and one of the cliches is if there's a pit anywhere, you look over and there should be a little ledge to jump onto. People jumped onto these little window things. Not so many people looked over this way and jumped in there, but it is marked with these little lit up steps. And up here, one of these buildings seems to have something in it, and there's also a torch nearby that's a little bit lower. The fitting's a different colour. The flame doesn't cast the same shadows. The light is pulsating, and the light is slightly pink. So there you go, there's a secret. Down here we need at least one underlift secret, and lo and behold there is one. Gotta love an underlift secret. Out here, texture's a bit odd. Oh, and there's a thing. This was originally a lot harder to get. Ooh. Luckily, I've got the quad at the right time. I did have it initially. If the player gets this secret before unlocking the path up here, there's actually a kind of wind that pushes him back on the ledge. So a lot of people would see, they'd get a message when they walked along there, winds dropped. I wonder what on earth was that about. That was just to inform them that they could now, if they got this secret, they could now jump across. I didn't want them taking a shortcut. So where are you? So we'd be back, getting the gold key, and go up here. Yeah, another altar without anything on it. So I put these little details on this pillar here, and then realised that you could slope jump up. Why not a little secret there? Oh, and this lady over here, this is just in case after getting the silver key you come back up along the upper path. There's someone there to have a bit of fun with. Through here. These towers are originally just for effect, but I thought, well, there's got to be something inside them to do something with them. And lo and behold, there is. Oh, forgot about these dudes. This is these monsters are placed down here in the. This is going to be a bit of. place down here in this lower bit so that if the player kind of tries to jump down from the final arena and escape this way, there's again more trouble for them. So here we go, another secret. Player probably wouldn't have the rocket launch at this point. Shouldn't be too difficult to deal with these. A lot of these secrets I put in for fun and also for completionists after they've kind of played the map properly. So look around here, more bricks sticking out. And like every single person who's got in here, a lot of them have got this secret and a lot of them had fallen off trying, so you'll have to bear with me. More secrets, but wait. So that, you know, some of the cliches, underlift secrets, whatever. Also, firing a grenade into somewhere and letting it explode if you can't shoot it normally. Don't think many people got this, but again, fun to put in. Oops. You can actually jump a lot easier from the upper ledge. So there's something over here. What's going on here? Is a faint ledge, a light, a teleporter noise. Could it be another underlift secret? Oh yes. At least one person went down here and didn't look up. If you look up, here you go. And this again is, there is an orange glow there that is visible. So we go through here. Fall down here. This is an area where I could have a bit of fun with the terrain and also reinforcing the kind of waterfall theme. And of course, waterfall theme means behind waterfall cliche secret. So there we go. And why have 2 underlift secrets when we can have 3? There we go. So that is all of them. So yeah, I was very pleased with this map. It still has its flaws, it still has its issues, some gameplay niggles, the odd bit of could be some better detailing and stuff, but it really is what I envisaged. It really was, you know, part of it was my dream, part of it was expanding on that to make a workable map, and the style and the whole vibe are exactly what I intended. So I'm pleased with that, really pleased with it. Cheers.